it specifically says painted or zebra lines.
Okay.
But again, without being a road engineer, I can't say.
Sure.
I think it would, I don't think.
I read that same thing, that the lines have to be there physically, basically, to enforce the traffic issue. So,
yes, then.
okay,
Clarify
we're all in agreement that we need to put the crosswalks down. Now,
We need to address this first. No?
well,
Did I hear something
that'll
say
be
no?
our next. Let's get the lines down and get everybody agreed on that. How's that? You know, everybody agree we need to move.
We start sooner.
So, having said that, you know, we need to remember that, you know, the DPW director's going to be coming back for a little more money back in the major streets traffic control
Sure.
for labor and material.
Sure. One thing though, what kind of lines are we gonna have? We're gonna have the parallel
We'll get in.
lines?
Well, let's get the lines down.
That's telling me that we should have some lines. There's different kinds of lines.
We don't want these to look like a camel, so you know, we want to. Do we want that, or do we want to just let them put the bars in? Okay, we agreed on that. Okay, we're going to have to pay a little more to get all the crosswalks put in. Now we need to agree on what type of lines, and I think my own opinion in there is let's let Tom decide that.
I can do that.
I'm okay with that.
Just for your information, logistics is the problem when it comes to putting lines across Main Street. We're going to have to close Main Street block by block by block. And just understand that you might get, be careful because you might get what you want. I mean, there's other ways around Main Street. And if you make it too difficult for traffic, they're going to go around Main Street, and the business owners are the ones who are going to suffer. So that's just something I'd like to put out there because nobody's mentioned it. I'd be happy to put them down if that's what you want, and I'd be glad to take care of it.
What do you think, Carrie?
Well, we've already decided the lines will go. It's the picture of how you want them. You want them zebra, or do you want just a line, and leave that up to...
I know that we've got not just more cars coming, we got more people crossing the street.
The whole problem with doing the crosswalks across Main, and like Mr. Pressman stated, we had to shut Main Street down for 45 minutes down for the paint to dry. Otherwise you have other little checkered lines going up the street. So
And it's block by
just so
block.
everybody's aware of that.
Sounds like for at least one.
July, and it's the slowest month of the year.
Well, there's also an issue timing on weather. You know, it has to be a clear, warm night, and obviously whether they do it during the day, that pulls them off others.
Right. Stop them from doing what else.
Mr. Mayor,
So,
can I ask Mr. Holly a clarifying question?
Go ahead, Ms. Connick.
Just to clarify, when Ms. Nixon was talking about the signs, you were saying that the movable sign, I just want to make sure I understand what we're talking about. I understand we're not doing that right now, but I want to understand the difference. You were saying that there's an option for the pedestrian signs to be mobile or not.
That's what Frankfurt does.
Okay.
They have them.
I know, I just want to understand that that's an option.
That's our next discussion.
I know it is.
To get further down.
I just didn't know there were mobile ones. So I'm just
Anyway.
Just clarifying that as we move forward in the future, when we talk about signs, that's a possibility that they could be mobile or not mobile. The paint has to be painted, but the signs could be mobile or not mobile. Am I correct in understanding that?
Sure,
Okay.
they are.
Got it.
They're very mobile. Okay, we got that, and we'll leave Mr. Stressman to do the design, or is there a specific?
I was interested more in the material that would be used there.
There's a special street paint that's used.
Is it going to be the really thick, high raised kind of material? It's going to stay low?
The high thick stuff you're regarding, if I can speak to that, would be the plastic thermals.
Yes.
They work sort of well through the summer, but the snowplow peels them right off.
That's what I was
But if you
wondering.
paint them, they will last.
How long will they last? That's another.
Traffic wears them out.
Not very long.
Will they go a year, June?
Well, like we paint Main and Muskegon, the White Crossing, and within half a year they're gone.
There's nothing we can, no material that,
No, it's just the amount of traffic that we get on Main Street.
so this is something, if we're gonna maintain this,
Ongoing,
we're gonna do it every year, to do it right.
ongoing.
So, then the next thing is how much is that cost, you know, Rosebud, so much per crosswalk, how much is that gonna add to the budget?
Well, that's what we'll have to do the first year and take a look at next year to say, okay, this is, we want it to continue or enough's enough.
If
I
I
don't
might,
know.
Mr. Mayor, if we're talking about trying to find a road funding mechanism, either through a dedicated millage or increasing the millage, that might be a piece of that. Could this not be included into road?
It's a maintenance instead of a rebuild. Basically, this is an ongoing, once this goes, it'll be painted every year unless we say
Right.
it costs too much stop. And obviously during the tight times in the budget and shrinking that, it was cut because of funding. They didn't have the money or the material expenses to paint those east-west for better crosswalks. Now, it's becoming an issue, for this council, and they want it, we'll have to pay a little more. My suggestion would be, if we want it, let's paint them this year, and we'll have to look at the cost for next year's budget to say it's too much, we don't want to do all that fancy crosswalks, and move from there. So, I don't know. Yes,
One last.
one more,
So,
only one?
I can't
I'll mark
promise.
it down.
Who am I kidding? So, in the future, I know some point down the road, we're looking at a tear down and rebuild of Main Street. At that time, perhaps we could consider putting in bricks in just the crosswalks to mark them, and then it's one and done.
No, sir. But okay, that's a good comment.
What color are these stripes going to be?
White. All traffic control, all traffic in
Was that
that
Marty?
respect is white.
Did you say pink?
All right, what are we gonna do, you know,
I have one question for Mr.
up to tell.
What was your last name, Kelly? Oh, I hate your last name.
Jason.
Yeah.
Opposite case.
Well, I was trying to think of his last name, I was like, Mr. Kelly, but this is that.
I just left your name.
All right, but the crosswalks, I know we can't just pick and choose, we can't just do one or two, we gotta do them all, right?
No.
We have designated
You
you
can pick and
from, the chair of the DDA have designated from Maple to,
Okay, but I was under the impression that you said at the meeting that, in a conversation with him, that you couldn't pick and choose, if you did one, you had to do them all.
what we were told, I thought we had to do that whole block, and that's what everybody wanted, the whole block.
Well, we all wanted anyway, that was leading to a different question, right, where you said that. So I was gonna ask if we put signs down, if we have to do signs in every block, but I guess if we don't have to do every page, we don't have to do every sign down.
Right. So,
That's my question.
okay, now, we've decided, I guess, to paint the lines. Okay, we decided to leave the direction of the lines, either the zebras or the crossbars, to the director's discretion. Now, the next one is, do we do signs or not? My opinion, the cost is gonna be there for the paint. It's an added cost, you know, for staff to put them in and out. It's the will of the council.
Can we get him to give us a price, and then decide on that at the next one? How the signs?
How many?
We at least want one at Maple and Maine, and at least one at Cherry.
If we get the individual price, then couldn't we make a decision from
So
there?
you're talking, well, so now it's gonna be, well, the price of one sign is gonna be, let's say, $200. And then it's gonna be, how many signs do we want? If we order bulk, you get an X amount of break, if we go one at a time, it's this.
Well, we have them get us a price on, like the benches.
Okay.
If you order 6 benches, you get a better
Well, I
price.
just bringing that out now
Yeah.
before we get in
So
later
if we
down.
have
It's
them get
like,
us prices, then we can decide if we want just koozies or if we want half a dozen.
okay, can
You'll have to decide what you want on the sign too.
that's the next question. What do you want it to say? Obviously, we don't have a state law.
Nope.
Okay, so if
You won't stay long. Well.
First state law, you gotta yield to pedestrians.
It says,
That's what most of them say, they say per state law, you must yield to pedestrians in the crosswalk.
there's a picture of one on page 74 of our agenda packet.
The one where the person's just walking across it, I think it's suffice. The more you put on the sign, the higher that cost is gonna be.
Okay, now we've narrowed it down to that. Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm. And that's, are we talking about the portable ones?
Yeah.
Good.
It's the only ones. Okay, we're only gonna put just one person on the sign walking, right? No language?
Is that sufficient?
If that's an option, then good for them.
I think you're gonna find they come in standard language on them, you know, to do just, I think let's just have them get a price on one that says state law for stopping for pedestrians within the crosswalk. Keep it simple. Okay? Yeah? Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do you need
Okay.
a motion for any of this, Mr. Mayor?
No, I think, are we okay with that, Mrs. Truesdale, with the, or Mr. Christensen?
Yes.
Do we, need a motion to require the sign, or the crosswalks being painted, and requesting our director to get us a price on the sign?
I think you can just do consensus, or you can do
I
a
think
motion.
that's,
whichever you want.
everybody's agreeing to that? We're all
Sounds
agreeing
good
that
to me.
the standard, one crosswalk. Okay. Any other discussion on the DDA's crosswalk request?
And then you want to got us all that information,
Okay.
right? Thank you for that time and for that.
Well,
It's been forever.
We have-
trying to find it ourselves.
Any other discussion on that? Yes, Mr. Truesdale.
Just an idea, but if I were painting stripes across, crosswalk stripes, I would build some type of a template that would go the complete distance across the road and have that template for future years. In other words, very, very easy, once the template's down, to spray that. I've done that in the past when I worked for the Universal companies in parking lot stripes, this type of thing.
Yeah, we have a, the last I knew, we had a spray unit, and they just had a gun and they let it.
Yes, I think it probably
Pay
exists.
a little bit extra up front, get something, and then it doesn't matter whether it has to be done every 6 months. Well, it matters, but I mean, it's a little different story
Yep.
as we
Obviously, yeah.
continue on.
Okay, duly noted, thanks. Any, good point. Any other questions before we move on to item D? Hearing none. Item D, first right of refusal on Kent County foreclosed properties within the city of Cedar Springs.
I don't think we need anything else to pay taxes on.
No, I think you're right. That's our
Sorry, was
opinion.
that out loud?
I want another copy.
Okay, in discussion, Mr. Clark, what's your opinion on, do you want to put?
I honestly did not get down to look at those properties. I would like to know,
Do we want to buy them or not?
How much are they? They
Uh,
going up for auction, we got a bid on them?
We will have to pay for them.
To pay the taxes?
Correct, but then you gotta remember, they go on a tax roll, we'll be responsible for any taxes. And what are we gonna do with them?
Have they, does anybody know, have they any value to us as a city?
Well, they're on,
On Maple, I know that, on the
They're-
east side.
old houses, I guess my question is, what are we gonna do with them when we get them? We got enough problems, in my opinion, but,
Mr. Mayor, can I speak to this a little bit?
go ahead, and I think one's vacant lot.
I don't know if anybody else is, I don't think so, when you were, my very first vote on council was to purchase 95 North Main. Yeah, and that was quite the kick in the pants. And it's turned out quite fabulous now, I've had a lot of sprouts and burgers there, but it was an insane headache for a really long time.
And we can't
And-
sell it for a profit.
And we can never sell it for a profit. We can only get out what we put in.
Correct.
Are those on before First Street?
I didn't look at them, I just looked at them automatically and said, I don't
They
want them.
know,
They're at the end of Maple Street, across from, they're
they're before First Street or after?
They're way up here.
the very dead end there, there are a couple of lots, they were owned by Nielsen, Ron Nielsen. At one time, I believe there was a trailer or a mobile on there, and that was removed. Right now, they're just vacant lots, and they're the ones I'm thinking of. The one is wetlands and is low. There's no services,
No services.
water only, and there's no sewer.
Septic.
And, the sanitary would have to be extended into them,
It isn't right now.
and it's not.
No septic.
So-
I mean, we don't have any septic.
No sewer attached.
I don't know how
Okay.
septic is working alone.
I'm gonna ask for consensus. Mr. Clark, what's
No.
your opinion? Mrs. Powell?
No.
Mrs.
No,
Mr. Hopkins?
then they're
I
done.
think we've got enough to maintain.
And you'll, I guess then, we would, that would be a consensus, we do not.
So you don't want that brought back next month, you're making your decision this month?
No,
Just put it as a discussion item, so.
no.
Give a consensus that we're not interested.
Yes.
Unless somebody can come up with something in the month that we can use it for.
No one will allow Habitat Humanity to buy it, let them deal with it. Okay, moving on, any further on that, we'll move on to action items number 8. A motion to approve resolution 2016-01 to adopt the 2016-2017 annual budget.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 2016-10 to adopt the 2016 annual budget.
Mr. Hopkins, seconded. It's been moved and seconded to approve the budget. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, when we had our meeting about the budget, it was my understanding that we would have opportunity to discuss some of the line items in the budget. Obviously, that's not going to happen. We're moving past that. So I guess I'm a little confused, and I would like to know for the future, when we have these budget discussions, how is that laid out? We had our discussion the first time about the general picture of the budget, and that presents it. When do we have opportunity to ask questions about particular line items that we wonder, well, what about this, what about that? That seemed to bypass me this time. Last time, I thought we had that opportunity.
You should be asking your questions at the budget meeting.
At the hearings.
Well, see, but I wanted to, and I was cut off.
Sorry.
But I thought other people also wanted to ask questions about line items, and my understanding was, we'll do it later.
We always have one budget, if I can speak, we always have one budget workshop, that budget is given to you before the workshop.
Yep.
You have a minimum of 2 weeks to go over it, and then at the budget workshop, I give a presentation, and that is your chance to ask any
Yeah, and
questions.
that was my understanding exactly.
That's the way we've always done it since I've
Yeah,
been here.
so,
And that may be shame on me. I thought we were gonna have an actual sit down and go down line item, and we had done that 2-3 years ago.
I thought so too.
We can do it any way you want, if that's what you want, next
Okay.
year, we can make sure that we do it that way.
Next time.
Okay.
Depends on how many times we want to sit in these seats.
I love this seat. I called the mayor the other day after our candidate discussion, and I asked if he wanted to come down and hang out with me here.
There's $13,
Definitely not. Okay, so,
Okay.
if I may, I had just a couple of small items that I thought maybe we should have in the budget. One of them I found out, it's not such a small one, and that is the carpet. And I understand that the carpet was actually in this year's budget. And
That's a line
Yeah.
in this current budget.
but it probably, and I talked to Tom, he said he didn't know that we were going to be able to get to it this time. Deb said that if we don't, then in July she'll bring it back to us and we can add it into next
Correct.
year's budget.
Yeah, we can carry over any projects they don't
So
complete
that's
at their
fine.
request.
What did you say about this?
I thought they already, we're talking about the carpet in the back of City Hall, I thought they did that last year.
So we're talking about,
That was the tile.
That was a tile.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we were talking about,
Looked at it, but it hasn't been done.
One at a time, please, one at a time, please.
yeah,
I was just clarifying.
as I looked it over, the office carpet really is in the worst shape, except maybe the manager's office. I'm not sure about that. I didn't look at that one. the area behind the counter is worn and not cleanable, the hallway is not cleanable. I'm not sure about the break area.
It's pretty
Someone
nasty.
give me a nod, yes or no, it is work. It can be cleaned, or
No, it's pretty nasty.
it's pretty nasty coming in, I know.
Basically, then we have till July or carry over for you folks if you want to get it in, correct?
And that's the whole building. I look at this area in here, and I don't think it's so bad in here, but I don't know about the other part of it.
Well, I think if the consensus is let's target the offices and in the entrance and to here, then I guess we could look at possibly doing this here.
But wouldn't you want it all the same carpet? If you had something different out there, then it wouldn't
I-
look good to carry through here.
That, I think, is a thing to bring back, we've got it this year in the budget, and it's, oh, by the way, we want to have this too, and it's this much more to do it. I guess I can't speak for everybody, but I'd be receptive to that. It's what it is.
I thought it was for everything.
City Hall is down.
It's already budgeted for the whole thing.
I
Yeah.
thought so too.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, I think it was budgeted for the whole
They
thing.
just haven't got to it.
It's just, yeah.
It was
Well,
$8,500,
Right.
what was budgeted.
How much?
8,500?
85?
So basically, to clarify, to clear my head too, that we still have that money available for you to do this, correct?
Correct.
So, in due diligence, if you don't get it done by July, please come and ask us to carry it over, and I'm sure we can address it at that time.
Perfect.
Does that work for everyone?
Works for me.
Okay.
So that was one. And then another thing is, this is really a small item, is a vacuum.
That's maintenance for wear and tear.
Well, yes, it is. The company that cleans our carpets here, Jeff Miller, is
Yes.
also the guy that takes care of ours at CTA.
Yes.
He says, Dan, he said, I don't know if I should talk to you about this or not, but your vacuums at City Hall are really no good.
Okay.
And so now I'm thinking, we're gonna get new carpet, and our vacuums are not good.
Well,
So, we need to, just work with Jeff somehow, either you buy a new vacuum, or
okay.
he, we pay more for him to use his own, which he doesn't like to carry us around, but
You think we can find some money to buy a vacuum?
I think we could
Okay.
squeeze it out
How's
some.
that? What else?
I don't think we have to put that in the budget probably,
Well, we wouldn't.
but I wanted to put it up there, and just
Okay.
throw it into the pot.
We have any other further discussion on this budget resolution? Okay, Madam Manager, you understand our request for next year and this year? Okay, thank you. Any further discussions, last call? This is concerning a large sum of money, I'll have a roll call vote. Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon,
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale,
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Conley,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Hall votes yes, motion carries. Next one would be item B, a motion to approve resolution 2016-11 to establish the millage rate for real and personal property in the city of Cedar Springs for fiscal year 2016-2017. Entertain a motion to that effect.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the resolution 2016-11 to establish the millage rate for real and personal property in the city of Cedar Springs for the fiscal year 2016-17.
Is there support?
Support.
Any discussion on that?
What is that millage once again, 15 point?
I will turn that over to the manager to explain this.
And I'll turn it over to Deb to explain it.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's 15.06 is the current, and like Pam had mentioned, right now we're keeping it the same, but there is room to.
And 17 is our ceiling.
Yep.
Correct.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
How much money does the mill generate?
75,000.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so we could levy by the vote of this council, $150,000 a year towards roads, or anything. But I mean, our thing that we've been talking about is roads.
For information.
That is one, if we were to do that and max this out, that's about how much we would get.
Yeah, and you would have to go to the vote of the people to do that. If you did a special road millage, you would have to bring it to the
Correct.
vote.
Correct.
I'm just trying to make sure everybody knows what our options are and how much money that actually gets us. And $150,000 a year does 2 blocks? Tom?
If we're lucky.
Okay. If Tom budgets really well, and smiles really big, and offers chocolate to the
We are,
people doing it, we might get 2 blocks.
Okay, any other further discussion on this?
I just have a question.
Long or short?
It's very short.
Okay.
I'm sure Deb can answer it. Okay, our city mills is 15 point, and then we have the library, and then we have the refuse, which gets us a total of 16.32. So why are they divided up like that? Is there a
We're dedicated.
dedicated, okay. Got it.
Which is another alternative we could do for roads, is we could do a dedicated millage.
Another day.
Yes.
Okay.
We gotta put it out there, people don't understand.
Any other questions? I'm gonna call for the vote. Moving on, Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Mrs. Conley.
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins.
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale.
Yes?
Mrs. Nixon.
Yes.
Mrs. Powell.
Yes.
Mr. Hall votes yes, motion carries. Item C, a motion to approve the fee schedule for 2016-2017. This sets the most into all the fees that the city charges for everything and all the above. I would entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion to to approve the fee schedule for the 2016-17 fiscal year.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I just had a quick question, because I know it was something that we had worked on previously to start January 1 of 2016, that the signage fees would be waived. I just wanted to make sure that
It's still in effect. This is
okay.
just as a public record, this is a fee we would normally charge, but it's been waived to another
The outdoor seating was stricken.
whole thing.
Yes, it should be outdoor seating, sandwich boards, and there was one more.
Like displays or,
An outdoor display fee, that's what the other one was.
Yeah, that's internal, so this
Okay.
is, Madam Manager, would you speak to that, please?
There were really very few changes. We did change the Morley Park Services fee. We found that $5 just was not covering the city's cost at all when people go to use either the water or electricity. I don't know that there's so much a problem with electricity, but when people have parties in the park and use water, the bill the next month is just astronomical, and $5 doesn't even begin to cover the expenses. So we raised each of them to $20.
Also a note, I've driven down there and seen people plugged into the museum's outlets on the side of the building, and I had asked them to, if they didn't want that, to put a sign in and turn the power off.
Yeah, we don't get a whole lot of requests for, but actually don't get too many people coming in to pay the fees.
Yeah.
So we need to do something about those costs.
Well, I know that for Renaissance, the chamber pays for the water and electric. Well, this year we're not using any water.
Yep.
Last year we had that dunk tank, but we didn't do that again this year. As Parks and Rec, when they have concerts in the park, I'm sure they use quite a bit of juice for the band equipment.
Do you remember if they had come in and paid? I don't recall them paying.
Well, I know that the museum, they started shutting their breakers off inside because somebody came, did some inflatable something one weekend, and nobody said anything, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I know with the movies in the park, they sponsored that portion of it with the
Correct.
chamber, and let us just use their outlet for that. We don't do that with the renter just because there's a couple of vendors that use substantial amount of electric. So we, asking for $20 on electric for an event, it's not.
A lot.
seems pretty minimum.
Yeah.
It still won't begin to cover our water, but at least it's a little bit better than $5. And we don't want to stop people from using the park either, so.
Otherwise they'll use the tree, but, all right. Any other comments, questions before I
We
call the vote?
removed the outdoor seating and shallow well registrations, and I'm working on the solicitors and peddlers license. I know I've cursed Jason out because his applications are gonna be atrocious. I told him he was never to write another resolution, another ordinance as long as he lived.
If it makes people not come knock on my door, I will like hug you and bring you chocolate.
This time you're talking about me.
All right, any other, Ms. Powell?
The outdoor seating permit, are you gonna actually remove it? Or would you just have outdoor seating permit, no charge?
No charge.
Okay, but you leave those words in there.
You still have to get a permit.
You still want them to have the insurance.
Permit required.
And we still wanna know who's doing it and make sure that they have ample insurance and everything.
And there's no fee for the sandwich board.
Correct.
So that, and then outdoor display, like merchandise permit. I don't see that here. Am I missing it somewhere? The table where you go outside and put your stuff in.
I swear it was there.
It used to be there, but it doesn't look like it's there right
That's
now.
right, it's not there.
Oh,
We
they
could
can't
add
do
that.
it.
What was that, outdoor display?
And outdoor display.
Well, I can't do it.
Sidewalk display, right there, too.
Yeah, we can-
Sidewalk.
Just below zoning permits, what you say. Annually.
So that's also no charge now, right?
Correct.
It's just above the sign.
Correct.
No charge for that, but they do have to get a permit,
They
right?
waived it for 1 year.
Yeah,
Correct.
we waived the fee for 1 year. No, it's 2 years.
One time, okay, let's,
Starting January
uh,
1st, we're gonna waive it
okay, moving on here.
for a year.
2 years.
Any other discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call for a roll call vote. Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon,
Yes.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale,
Yes.
Mrs. Conley,
Yes,
Ms. Hall votes yes, motion carries. Item D, motion to approve the technology used in electronic records policy. I would entertain a motion to that effect.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the technology use and electronics records policy as presented.
Second.
Been moved in second, and has everybody kind of looked that over? Everybody,
Last month too.
Madam Mayor, would you have to speak, would you care to speak to that?
Madam Mayor?
You are, are you?
Mayor? I don't think so.
Sorry. It's been a long night already, and it's 8:30.
That's,
I think we pretty much discussed everything last month, and we seemed pretty okay with it.
Okay. Any discussion?
yes, great job.
Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a roll. Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins? Mrs. Nixon?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale?
Yes.
Mrs. Conlon?
Yes,
Ms. Hall votes yes, motion carries. Item E, motion to approve the amended recording public meetings policy.
I'll make
In
the
your
motion.
packet?
I'll make the motion to approve the amended recording public meetings policy.
second.
Who wants to fight for the second? Mrs. Conlon? Okay, it's in the packet. Hope everybody looked at it for discussion purposes.
We just simply added, when you made the motion last fall to include all city meetings to be recorded, I've just added them to what we had, we just amended it to include all city council, planning commission, DDA, and zoning board of appeals meetings.
Okay, any discussion further? Hearing none. We'll call Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins, Mrs. Nixon,
Yes.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale,
Yes.
Mrs. Conlon.
Yes,
Mr. Hall votes yes, motion carries. Item F, motion to approve the amended planning commission bylaws.
Mr. Mayor, go ahead. Go ahead, Barry. Make a motion to approve the amended planning commission bylaws.
Second.
Seconded by Nixon. Is there any discussion? Mrs.
Just-
Christensen, would you speak to this, please?
Sure. The planning commission has worked and made a few changes to their bylaws, and when they were first sent to the council, you wanted to have something in there reflecting that they used Robert's Rules of Order as their parliamentary authority. So that is what they did. They've added item A under section 2. Robert's Rules of Order will serve as the parliamentary authority for all planning commission meetings. And the other changes are depicted in the red strike-throughs and the red additions.
In the planning commission, and as I can speak to, and Mr. Hopkins, everyone seemed to be very good with it.
I think the last time it came before city council, the only problem we had was Robert's rules, how you get out the agenda.
Yeah. I think, and I can speak to that, I think that was really my bailiwick. And I'm very glad they added that in there. I'm
Okay.
totally satisfied.
Great. Any other discussion on that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Mr.
So
Clark?
I guess I am not clear yet, though, how adding Robert's rules as a parliamentary mechanism is going to function under. How does that clarify who actually or how the agenda is established? That seems
I
to
can
be the
speak to that if
issue.
it's helpful.
Reed, go ahead.
Okay, so as a person who does Robert's Rules, is part of what I do. Robert's Rules says that any member of the board may add something to the agenda at any time.
Or it was not in there before.
But the actual establishment of the agenda prior to that is still,
It was only by the clerk.
it still is.
But any member of, just like we, any member of council,
But it
may,
has to be added at the beginning of the meeting.
Correct.
no, we can request.
Yeah.
Any member,
Just like we
Robert's
do with
Rules
us.
says that any member of the board can request an item be put on the agenda.
I'm not so sure that's Robert's rules.
That is Robert's Rules.
Robert's rules would apply during the meeting.
It also applies to the establishment of the agenda.
we're getting,
No, I went over it at the time, actually. Like when we were trying to find the solution
If
to it.
that's so, then great.
Thank
It's
you.
so.
I'm just not sure.
okay, I have any other questions, I will call for the vote.
It is. It really is.
Hearing none. Mr.
I
Clark,
can bring in a copy.
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon,
Yes.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale,
Yes.
Mrs. Conlon. Mr. Hall votes yes, motion carries.
Yes.
Guess what?
Whatever I was voting on.
It's too late.
Okay. Then I'm not voting.
Robert's rules. You have
Yes.
Okay, our next one is item G.
Show it to you.
We ready to move on to item G, or do we
Yes.
want to digress?
I love it.
We are in love with item G.
Okay, we'll move on to item G. A motion
Real
to,
punchy.
okay, motion to approve the renaming of the Cedar Springs Public Library
Building.
building to the Cedar Springs Community Library Building, as requested by the Community Building Development Team.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved in second by Ms. Is there any discussion? And, anyone? I think, Mr. Navy spoke to that earlier about what the clarification will be.
Did that motion satisfy what your clarification was trying to get at?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, that,
Mr. Navy, would you?
the gift just wants it not to be named McDonald Round Cattle House.
Sure.
Okay.
And so the gift just said that they would like to be called either the Cedar Springs Community Library or the Cedar Springs Public Library. Either way was fine. The library board, as I understand at their meeting, wanted to name it community to signify Solon Township and the surrounding area rather than just that. So that's why it's the Cedar Springs Community Library. And we're talking about the building, so it's not Cedar Springs Community Library building, we're talking about the building, so.
Okay.
Everybody
So
else,
is our motion okay to do
they
what
all
you need
approved
done?
it.
Yeah.
They all approved
Okay.
it.
We're just ensuring that when the building comes in your ownership, it still stays that way.
Okay.
Okay,
I have a question for
Sure.
manager.
go ahead.
Did you get those copies made or am
I set them next to you before
Oh,
the meeting
okay.
started.
Well, you didn't discern.
No, they're right there. Oh, so That's not a duty.
Okay,
So I did what I told him I would do.
We're on YouTube, we did it.
okay.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I just.
Shut up, she is giving you a look.
So,
No almond bars for you.
moving on,
That's a real
folks.
threat.
I'm gonna call for the vote. Mr. Conley,
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale,
Yes.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon,
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
and Mr. Hall, yes. Motion carries, the naming of the building. Item H, this is a motion to approve the purchase of a water pressure pump for the wastewater treatment plant belt thickener drive in the amount not to exceed $2,312. I would entertain a motion to that effect.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the purchase of a water pressure pump for the wastewater treatment plant from CWD Belt Thickener Drive, because it doesn't say that in there, in an amount not to exceed $2,312.
Second.
Okay, so move to second. Mr. Stressler, would you speak to that,
I was
please?
going to say, Mr. Mayor, would you like all of these motions
No,
at
we'll
once?
do one
and
at a
then,
time.
okay, so then he could
One at a
discuss
time.
them.
I thought about that for a moment. Trying to explain what it is. If you have them down to belt thickener takes up a room basically, and it's just a component of the belt thickener that needs to be put.
Basically, it boosts the water pressure to clean there's a big mat, and it pressure washes that to clean it
So we get
before.
to talk about poop again.
No, sludge, biosolids.
No biosolids. It sounds so much
All
better.
right, is there any discussion? Everybody,
I don't
Clear as
understand that. No, they can say no. So the material comes onto the thickener, and the idea is for it to actually thicken the material more to remove water.
Correct, it goes, the belt will hold the solids, but the water will run through. Polymer gets injected in the process, and the polymer binds the solids together.
So when the hard spray hits it to knock it off of there, the water doesn't get it into the solids again.
This is on the bottom.
it cleans the belt.
Right, before it comes back around again.
Oh, this is after everything is supposed to have fallen off.
Yeah.
Ah,
Comes out looking like black cottage cheese.
I remember seeing the thing. I just didn't remember, I did not remember seeing the high pressure spray.
Put a few strings,
Yeah.
a few strings in there.
Oh.
Anyway, you guys all talk, it's my turn. Okay, hearing any other discussion?
Would you?
Hearing, all right, I'll call for the vote then. Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins, Mrs. Nixon,
Yes.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale,
Yes.
Mrs. Conley,
Yes.
Mr. Hall. You could get a sample of black cottage cheese anytime,
Ooh, is it now this
Okay.
where the vitamins
That's what
come
I-
in? The bags of vitamins?
just nitrogen. Moving on, motion to approve the
Doing that bags of
purchase
vitamins.
of the new cabinets for the wastewater treatment plant lab from Stone Creek in the amount not to exceed $11,932.
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion to approve the purchase of new cabinets for the wastewater treatment plant lab from Stone Creek in an amount not to exceed $11,932.
Second.
Harris moved and seconded. Mr. Pressman, would you speak to that, please?
Treatment plant lab is a caustic environment, the metal cabinets, they've been painted a few times with the holes in the bottom, so it'll make it pretty big. So,
Okay, so we're not talking about just regular kitchen cabinets,
no,
it's some.
these are lab cabinets.
Okay.
No. These are, the ones that have been in there have been in there 20-plus years, and I'm sure these are equal to or surpass the quality. There's a lot of acids in there, and it's always wet, and it's a nasty place. Any questions?
What do we use the cabinets for?
That's
Well,
Storage of
Last first story.
I like that, Barry, that was pretty much it, you put something.
Pretty simple. What do you put in cabinets at your house?
Stop.
I think there's a George Carlin skate in there somewhere.
All right.
And literally, everybody else's stuff is.
Why would they make, I'm asking Tom Moore, I guess, I'm asking myself, why would they make lab cabinets out of metal rather than some impermeable material that we have today? That makes no sense. Is there something out there better that we could get than metal?
No, I don't think so. They're, originally powder coated material. They use powder coat.
Oh, yeah, it's metal.
Yeah, so it's gonna rust, especially in that kind of environment. 20 years is not bad.
Well, it's not. And the top is a very chemical resistant type material, so that's going to keep any stuff from getting down in there. It just seems strange metal in the lab.
Well, plastic absorbs.
They're a
or
countertop,
melt and
tech.
is brittle.
It's
You
certainly,
really can't, a lot of plastics are, get off of chemical.
Right.
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 You can't have that kind of stuff in the
And then they
lab.
become brittle.
well, there's a whole lot of issues there, and, you know, these are specifically for.
And they're a direct replacement, so they're going to fit right back in. Is that true?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It says direct
It's okay, so-
replacement, so that was my impression.
Do you ever directly replace anything that fits?
Well, it's made by Ford, yeah.
Okay. Moving on, folks. Okay, any other discussion? We'll call for the vote. Mrs. Conley?
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yep.
Mr. Clark?
Yep.
Mr. Hall votes yes. Moving on to a motion to approve the purchase of LED lights for the basement of the wastewater treatment plant from Rockford Electric in the amount not to exceed $3,890. Motion for that effect?
Make a motion to approve the purchase of LED lights for the basement of the wastewater treatment plant from Rockford Electric in the amount not to exceed $3,890.
Second.
Moved and seconded. I was impressed with the report on here that it's a year and a half of savings and they'll be paid for.
Yeah. LED is amazing.
It's like,
Well, the ones down there are huge, high pressure sodium, like I said, on the transformer.
Oh.
It's getting bad enough where you flip the switch and then you got to hit there.
yeah, when you-
Anyways, the light comes
Are those 400?
Yeah, it comes on and then it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. There's 5 of them, I think, that don't even work.
so this is a,
So they're replacing fixture and all that.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Well, that's not, my understanding is they're just taking the ballast and whatever else out of it that was part of a sodium, and then they're gonna put an adapter in there so they can put an LED bulb in there, am I not right?
Right, it'll be not a brand new fixture, but it'll be rewired for the.
Yeah, and the pictures are in good, I mean, as far as the reflectors and everything, they're in good shape. So this is a lot cheaper way to go. The other prices were like 4 times more because they were replacing the whole fixture. So this is I reckon, an excellent way to go.
Okay. I'll call for the vote. Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon?
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Conley?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yeah.
It's all votes yes, motion carries. Item K, to add to the item, we've all, I would entertain a motion that we had discussed about in the workshop to, or a general consensus on what do you think would be the best? To have MML go back to MML. We want a motion?
I would think you want to
Okay.
motion for that.
I would entertain a motion. I believe Mrs. Conley has drafted one.
Sure.
First time I caught you off guard, huh?
Yeah, right. First time.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go back to the MML for a panel of candidates to interview to replace our city manager.
Okay,
The hierarchy
so moved and
manager.
seconded to basically go back to MML for a new panel of candidates. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call for roll call. Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Nixon?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Truesdale?
Yes.
Mrs. Conley?
Yes.
Mr. Hall votes yes, motion carries. I
So will
think,
you contact us
I
when
will.
you have a date?
yes. I will get a hold of MML. I've already contacted our facilitator, and he was going to advise Kathy Gritzinger of our decision, and I will notify them that it's been approved by the council, so we'll start the process if it has not already begun. I guess we'll go with their recommendation, but I would think we would go back to the list of the, I think we had about 20 candidates that fit our criteria, 18, whatever that number may be, and they will bring it back, and then just prepare your calendars for more interviews. And I'll let you know, or I'll ever get a hold of Mrs. Christensen, and we'll set the same, probably, processes that we just went through. Pardon?
Preferably not Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a good point. We let Ms. Christian know that Tuesdays are a bad day. Okay, moving on to number 9, communications. We have A, the Right Place newsletter, B, April 29, 2016, and May 6, 2016, Grand Valley Metro Council weekly updates. And other reports and on the agenda. Any discussion here? We have one from the historical also. Hearing none. Departmental reports. City manager, acting Mrs. Christian, would you?
Okay. I've heard from Roger Morgan, and Rockford Ambulance is ready to, probably not in June, but perhaps July, submit their site plan for the Rockford Ambulance substation that they're going to be putting in on White Creek. I'm not sure now about community cleanup. I haven't heard anything from Julie. Maybe Rose might have some information. I know I talked with her about it, but I haven't heard anything from her since then.
Yeah, I haven't heard from her either. I sent an email, so I guess we're still on standby until.
That would be next week, I believe. They were planning on doing a community-wide cleanup.
Or whatever.
I'll chat with her. We won't have much time to do advertising, but we'll do what we can.
We can get it on the webpage and go from there.
Okay.
And another item, in case you want to come in and chat with the city assessor, he has changed his office hours to Wednesday instead of Friday. And moving along, Green Acres is moving forward on their building. I'm not sure if they've broken ground yet or they will be breaking ground. They're very, very close.
They are moving ground down there. I was down there Monday.
Okay.
Mackinac Bridge is gone, and the pond is still good.
I know we had to work with them to get 2 separate addresses for the site because they wanted each building to have a different address. And I've been working with Imperial Municipal Services on our rental registration program. It's something that kind of got put in the back burner for a number of years with our last building inspection team, and we've finally gotten forms together and a routine together, so he's making inroads and starting to get those apartment buildings or homes that need to be re-inspected to get those taken care of. And I did make a mistake when I said that the no parking on Main Street was for planting of trees. It was actually to remove the stumps. And he didn't come Friday, and so he was going to come Monday. And I said, no, I didn't want him doing that Monday when you were having potential city manager candidates touring the city. I didn't want to have them seeing them find out stumps. So I'm not sure if that has it been done yet.
No.
Although we got some lovely photographs of our community.
Yes.
Moving on.
And I have just, one of my focuses will be to get all the city applications up to speed now that the fees have been set, and I try to do that every year to update those. And doing the solicitors and transient merchant ones will be a little time consuming. But other than that, that's really all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Department of Public Works? Police Department, Mr. Sergeant.
I think I got the report that Fred Relay is coming through Cedar Springs. They're going to use this staging area. 120 vehicles, and won't all be here at the same time. It's a relay Grand Rapids have been Cadillac. And that is in August 5th and 6th. And then, I attached 2 quarterly reports for you. One thing really of note is, if you look at any of the numbers on this, is population-wise, Cedar Springs is the 21st out of 22. It's not a township, but townships, because that's how this is worded. So the smaller population is the 7th in call volume, and it is the 1st for calls per resident. Median low
Okay.
Which is good. It means they feel welcome to call.
That was a nice way to impact turn that.
Okay, the man of the hour, Mr. Fraser.
I don't have anything unless council does, just a tidbit of information. Our county pumper had an issue this afternoon, brake seized up on it.
Ooh,
I got a hold of,
everybody okay?
yeah, it wasn't being moved, it was gonna be pulled out of the station but couldn't.
Okay.
So I got a hold of the fire commission and they sent a rep up and he's fixed it. But he recommended some replacement parts. However, I have a fire commission meeting tomorrow morning at 8:30 in Grand Rapids, and I will talk to the man in charge down there about getting that repair set up. And while the guy was here working on our brakes, I asked him for some quotes for oil changes and grease jobs on our 3 engines. And I'm just gonna put a bug in your ear that they're gonna be a little bit more, because this guy is a DOT certified mechanic, and he will go to the extent of doing a lot more than what we have been getting done.
It will be right.
Under the impression we were getting what we were paying for, and that was what we were doing. We were getting what we were paying for. However, I would like to, I will get quotes if that's required, but it's going to be a little more than what it has in the past. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
Other than that, I don't have anything unless council has questions.
I just have one comment. I'm so glad you're going to have the fire department memorial, be in the memorial parade this year for the Red Flannel Festival. I read that. Is it true?
Mrs. Powell, I'm not sure I follow where you're.
Well, I was reading the events for the Red Flannel Festival, and I read that we're going to have the fire department memorial parade
Like
this year.
Is that the Friday night?
Yeah. So, I didn't see a thing. Never mind.
Moving on.
What's the thought of not looking ignorant? I have not heard about this.
Okay, all right.
Didn't work.
You're talking about in October, not Memorial Day.
Yeah, Red Flannel Day.
Well, heads up, boss.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
No other further questions of the chief?
I just
Put him on the spot.
thank you for taking care of our equipment and so promptly getting on that when it's not working the way it ought to be.
Well, just a side comment, and not trying to waste too much more time, I'd like to get out of here myself, but,
Keep it short, under.
we have to keep that equipment top-notch shape, just like Mr. Kelly with his cruisers and stuff.
Of course.
Now, I mean, they're an emergency response vehicle, and they have to be in top-notch shape.
I agree, and I'm thanking you for doing that. If I seemed sarcastic, I didn't mean to. It was meant to be genuine.
No, I didn't take it as that. I want to impress on the council that this is something that's really dear and true to my